Ladies and gentlemen, I am on my last straw with this company. It is so bad. It's so unbearable. It's so unwatchable. It is so boring. Genuinely, if it wasn't for this channel, I said it in my last video, if it wasn't for this channel, I would not watch any of this. I would not give any time to this company. It is so unbearable. It is the same thing every single week. It's like watching the same episode every Monday, every Friday that you know you're not going to like because you didn't like it last week, and you know this week it's going to be the exact same episode. But we do it every single week. But the difference is, if it was an episode on a TV, at least you don't have to buy tickets to go and see it. It is so bad. Like, genuinely, normally I write notes. Normally, as the show is going on, I write notes. Right? Every match, every promo, every segment, I write notes. What happened, a general thing of what I want to mention when I talk about it. This show, I did nothing. And I had no intention of doing any notes, because I knew how it was going to go. It's so bad. This might be my shortest review that I've ever done, because there's nothing to review, boys and girls. There is nothing. Even if I was to review it, in your head you'd be thinking, didn't he literally say this in his last video? Yes, I probably did, because the same thing happened last week. It's genuinely, like, there was one good thing. One thing of substance. One thing of note. One thing worth talking about. That is it. Like, what do you want me to talk about here? It is so bad. If you want a real in-depth review of the show, go and watch JD, who can sit there for hours and talk about this. I cannot. I don't have it in me to sit here for hours and talk about this dire show, this dire company. It starts off with Jey Uso, then LA Knight comes out, then the Bronze come out, which sets up another tag team to main event, because that's the only thing they know what to do. Every show is either going to be a tag team match that main events, or a one-on-one match that main events. Either way, it's going to end in a DQ or some shenanigans after the match. Ends in a DQ, about 2, 3, 4 people come out, or it ends in the match and someone gets pinned, and then it happens after the match. Every week, and last night was tonight was no different. It was no different. Jey Uso and LA Knight versus the Bronze main event. Does that make you want to watch? No. If you didn't start the show, if you didn't watch the start of the show, you're scrolling through Twitter, social media, whatever, you see what's happening. Oh my God, this tag team match has been set up for the main event. Is that going to make you tune in to watch the main event, the rest of the show? Of course it's not. That's what the first segment is supposed to do. It's supposed to get you excited for the main event. It's supposed to get people that aren't watching to watch the main event. People that are watching excited for the main event. It's the same thing every week. Show starts with a promo to set up a bollocks main event that no one cares about. No substance, no story. Just the most bare minimum basic booking that Triple H can possibly give you, because he doesn't have the effort or creativity in his body to give you something that you will like. What else I'm not going through the order of everything that happened. Again, I didn't write notes because I didn't want to. I don't care about this show. I don't care about any of it. Roxanne Perez takes another loss. She taps out, or she gets submitted, whatever. I think she tapped out. She got submitted. So she takes another loss on a random Raw in the middle of it. Roxanne Perez, someone that we're supposed to be building up, someone that is supposed to be a future star in the women's division, takes losses every single week. Now Triple H should probably sit there and go, oh, we're implementing her onto the main roster still. Eventually we'll start building her up. It'll be too late. When you start to try and build her up again, everyone is going to remember what you're doing to her right now. You want to set up a Liv Morgan match for when Liv Morgan returns, right? When Liv Morgan returns, the natural match for her to come back to is Roxanne Perez. No one's going to care now because Roxanne Perez is taking losses every single week. Would you not want to build up Roxanne Perez so that when Liv Morgan does come back, it feels bigger and better because Roxanne is dominant, Roxanne's winning? She's beating everyone and then Liv Morgan comes back and beats her. Does that not make more sense? Rather than having Roxanne take losses every single week to go into something with Liv Morgan when she comes back, which no one's going to care about now because no one can look at Roxanne Perez as dominant, like she can win a match. She can't win a match. She can't beat anyone. So how are we supposed to believe and invest in a match with Liv Morgan when we know it's not realistic for her to win? And if she does beat Liv Morgan looks extremely weak because she's lost to someone that loses to everyone else on the entire roster. On a random Raw, in the middle of it, every week, in a random tag team match. Why is she taking the loss? Why is Raquel not taking the loss? Or, why make the match if no one can lose? Asuka and Io, they can't lose either. They're doing some dumb shit like, they're still doing this thing with Io Sky where it's like, they're protecting Io like she's our friend, she's not your friend, she's our friend. Doing it with Nikki Bella now. Still doing it with Rhea Ripley. Oh my god. The cringiest gimmick and cringiest storyline you could possibly give to someone like Asuka, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane. 3 individuals that we should look at as really talented because they are, and dominant, involved in big stuff, involved in storylines. Io Sky got a match got announced for WrestlePalooza, her versus Stephanie for the title, for the vacant title, but she's too busy in a little storyline where Asuka and Kairi are trying to keep her as their friend and only their friend, trying to gatekeep her as their friend, which you do in school, kindergarten, primary school, whatever country you're in, like a kid in school. That type of stuff. Everyone experienced it in school when you were younger, right? No, you got protective of your friend. She's my best friend. She's not your best friend, she's my best friend. She's not yours. I'm a better friend to her than you. She can't hang out with you anymore. She's my friend. We're doing that with Asuka. My god, it's like... We got AJ Styles, Dominic Mysterio for the title, which Dominic won. Now, initially, I have no problem with Dominic keeping the title, but what does this do for AJ Styles? Now, it's easy to sit here and say, it's fine, because Triple H is now going to book AJ Styles to be dominant, right? He's gone on a losing streak, and this is going to be a switch in his character. We've done this before. We've done this for years now. This isn't just like a little storyline for AJ Styles where he keeps losing and losing. He switches it up, something changes, and then he goes on a winning streak. We've been doing it for years. AJ Styles has been losing, looking like an idiot, for years now. This isn't just a one-off storyline. They've done nothing with AJ Styles for years. Triple H is not capable of turning this around now into something captivating for AJ Styles' last big run. I don't think he's going to give him one last big run. Do you trust Triple H to give him one last big run? And if he does, do you trust him to book it right? Absolutely not. He's probably going to let him go out, feeling irrelevant, doing nothing, and just fade off into the distance, fade off into retirement. Because he's not a Triple H guy. He didn't come from NXT. He doesn't say Triple H is my favourite human being on the planet. He came from TNA, did his best work in TNA. He has a career before WWE, so Triple H is obviously not going to prioritise him. He's going to go for the Damian Priests, the Rhea Ripleys, the Jey Usos. Poor AJ Styles, that's all I'll say. Poor AJ Styles. The best part of the night was Becky Lynch. Now, I said in my last video, I like Becky Lynch being part of this faction, the Vision, and I was proven to be right because that was the best part of the show. Becky Lynch CM Punk promo, really good. Becky Lynch in this faction just works. Her and Seth together works. Now, I was informed in my last video in the comments that apparently they did this in 2019. I was not aware. I think I saw something. I think I saw Becky Lynch, Baron Corbin something. But trust me, I tuned out in 2019. It was that bad. It's even worse now, I think. Well, there's an argument to be had that it's just as bad now, or even worse. And I would tune out again if it wasn't for this channel. I didn't watch 2019. I wasn't aware that they've done this before. But as far as I'm aware, I had a little look. They were both faces back then. It works better as them heels. And that promo proved me right. Becky Lynch was incredible. She was slapping CM Punk, mocking him, slapping him. Becky Lynch was incredible. And then she's saying, CM Punk goes, "You're going to regret that." And then later in the night, he's backstage with Adam Pearce and he goes, "Next week, SmackDown, we're in Chicago, right?" And he has a little smirk and he goes, "Excellent," or something. They are teasing AJ Lee. They are massively teasing AJ Lee. The crowd were chanting for her. Becky said, "Oh, I was cheering for someone that's not here again." They're teasing it. They're definitely not shying away from it. They're teasing it for sure. Will it happen? Will we finally get AJ Lee? Now, I'll tell you what. Every Raw, every SmackDown makes me feel nothing. I have no emotion on my face from top to bottom. But if on SmackDown, AJ Lee shows up, I am off of my seat and I am knee sliding. I have wanted AJ Lee back for years. I think this is the closest we've got. Because now they're actually teasing it. Now they've mentioned AJ Lee. So, I mean, if it doesn't happen, it's going to be very disappointed. CM Punk had a backstage segment with Rhea Ripley. So if it ends up to be Rhea Ripley, if it ends up to be Rhea Ripley, I will not have a working TV afterwards. My remote, my controller, my water bottle, anything that I have that is nearest to me is going straight through the TV. If it ends up to just be Rhea Ripley, I will not watch, I will not care, and I will not review. But that was Raw. The main event was the tag team match, which ended, of course, with someone coming out after the match, Jimmy Uso. Wow, riveting. Can we not just end a Raw with a cliffhanger, a storyline, something to make you watch next week, or even just a clean victory? I would take that at this point. At this point, I would take a clean victory to end a Raw because I'm sick of it ending the same every single week. That was Raw. That was Raw. Terrible. Terrible. Terrible.